So this is only one piece of what is the broader pilot that BC is embarking on, because they have health services that are involved with this, harm reduction services that are involved with this. This is one tool.
Clinton Jaws, I love watching these types of videos. I love it. I'm addicted to it. I like seeing a liberal feel awkward, stumble, stutter, don't know what to say, because they, for some reason, they're scared to tell the truth. You ask them a question, they don't answer it. I like this CTV reporter. Her name's Vassie. She doesn't let them slide. She'll ask again, and ask again. She doesn't let them off the hook. She's interviewing this. You got to watch the end, okay? She's interviewing this, I don't know, minister, something. You could see the crazy in her eye. Let's watch the crazy in her eye.
Debate in the House of Commons this afternoon after the feds announced they would grant BC's request to recriminalize the use of hard drugs in public spaces. With us now is the federal minister responsible, mental health and addictions, Minister Yara Sachs. Hi, Minister. Good to see you here live in studio. I appreciate it.
Do you see what I see? Do you see the crazy and the dumbass nose ring?
Health and Addictions, Minister Yara Sachs. Hi, Minister. Good to see you here live in studio. I appreciate you making the time.
Thanks for having me, Vassie. I'm thrilled to be here.
I wanted to start off by asking about the way in which this unfolded, and in particular, if BC didn't make this request, if you would have considered amending the exemption anyway, given the public safety concerns that were being brought to the public's attention.
British Columbia has requested that you now make hard drugs illegal in public places. They've already done this. They've went back on it. It's now illegal in public places. Her question is, if they didn't request that, would you have just did it anyways? Pretty easy to answer, right?
So I think that's a great question. But when we start looking at the announcement today, BC came to us and asked for this amendment to their proposal. And it's not the first amendment that we have made to their proposal. When we embarked on this journey, at BC's request to do the
blah, 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 blah. She doesn't answer it. So Vassie has to ask again.
The genesis of my question, though, was because BC essentially introduced legislation to try and do what your government's approval today essentially does for it. It faced challenges in the court that basically halted their efforts to recriminalize the use of hard drugs in public spaces. You would have been watching all of that unfold.
Sure.
Did you as a federal government think to yourselves, maybe we should address this at this moment instead of wait until BC comes to us?
So this is really a collaborative relationship on the BC pilot program, and each time we have worked with BC with the data updates that we get. But this is BC's pilot, and that's what we've responded to today.
But I guess I'm trying to ascertain on behalf of Canadians.
Didn't answer it. So Vassie goes again. She understands the question. Why wouldn't you just tell the truth? It's so easy. Why wouldn't you? You sit there, you just tell the truth. The answer is no, they wouldn't have. What's wrong with saying that?
But I guess I'm trying to ascertain on behalf of Canadians what exactly the federal role is, because their pilot project could not have gone ahead if your government didn't approve it. So if you see that despite the best of intentions, things are not working as you had anticipated they should, do you wait for BC to come to you, or do you have the prerogative to say, hey, we've got to amend this?
So as I've said before, and we've been very clear about this, this is a partnership. This is a collaborative.
What does that mean?
That means that we don't take decisions unilaterally here. We work with the data, we work with the evidence, and we work with the province and jurisdiction. So this is only one piece of what is the broader pilot that BC is embarking on, because they have health services that are involved with this, harm reduction services that are involved with this. This is one tool in many tools that they're using.
And so what I gather from what you're saying is, unless BC comes to you and says, we need to change something here, you're not willing to tell them that they need to change something, even though you're ultimately responsible for approving this exemption.
Ask it 5 times?
We are responsible for working with BC on their pilot
Did you
program.
ever go to them earlier and say you've got to do something about the public spaces?
We've been working with them every step of the way. We were addressing public spaces already shortly after I was made minister with the first amendment that we put through in September with them. But they also have tools and resources at their disposal in terms of public spaces. That was part of the letter.
What tools? What tools? What tools do they got? What are you talking about? Tools?
Requirements that they received in the first place. They do have tools at their disposal.
What tools?
We're here to work with them to reinforce those tools, to make sure that law enforcement has clear direction.
You're a tool.
And that they feel supported in moving forward.
What
in
a
the pilot.
tool.
Because I think what we heard actually at the outset even of the approval, and not to misrepresent law enforcement, because they are supportive of decriminalization, but they...
Only a couple of tits in the RCMP are supportive of it. You know what? That's true. And you know why they're supportive of legalizing hard drugs, if they are? Because Crown Counsel won't approve charges. You arrest a crackhead, for possession of meth. They're not going to court. You know how much work that is for a cop to submit a report to Crown Counsel asking for charges, and they just come back and say no? It's because Crown Counsel refuses to charge these people. No likelihood of conviction.
What's driving the overdose deaths that we're seeing is not a lack of services. It's the toxic drug supply.
Toxic? Oh, is it really? That's what it is. People don't overdose normally on drugs? River Phoenix did it in the 1993. Died dead outside of a nightclub because he had lethal amount of meth in his system. No fentanyl. People overdose on drugs, guys. Clean drugs. You take too much, it happens every day. She wants you to think it's just a toxic problem. If you legalize drugs, there's going to be more overdoses and deaths. I love this part. Okay, watch this. There's a province that wants to, part of the province they want to legalize what they did in BC. Hard drugs. Legalize hard drugs. For everyone. From the ages of 12 and up. For 12 to 17-year-olds.
You said today that the request from the City of Toronto to embark on a decriminalization project was dormant. We reached out to the city, and Toronto Public Health says it continues to be engaged in ongoing discussions with Health Canada on Toronto's request. How is that dormant?
So I do not currently have any request in front of me from Toronto Public Health. It is still sitting with Health Canada. The last iteration of the proposal that was received had inefficiencies and wasn't adequate to move forward.
In your view?
It's not ready to move forward. And Mayor Chow herself said.
You got to watch it again. It's not adequate, she says. Vassie asks, in your view, it's not adequate. It's an easy answer. The answer is yes. She's thinking yes, but I can't say that for some reason because I'm a dishonest liberal. Can't they just be honest? Can't they just answer a question?
Inefficiencies and wasn't adequate to move forward.
In your view?
It's not ready to move forward. And Mayor Chow herself said a few days ago, I believe it was on Friday, that she recognizes that to embark on a proposal like this, that health services need to be in place. So we're continuing. We will work with every jurisdiction, but we also are very clear in terms of the provincial role in this. And really, health is the jurisdiction of the province.
So do I interpret from that comment that you won't go ahead with that if the province of Ontario is against it?
We will always work collaboratively with jurisdictions that want to work with us.
I can't answer that, Vassie.
On how they choose to tackle the overdose crisis in their jurisdiction.
Respectfully, though, that doesn't answer what I'm not sure of what you're trying to say there.
Respectfully, to answer, I would say that we will work with provinces to move forward.
So if they don't want to move forward, then does it become moot?
At this point in time, there is no proposal on my desk.
Oh, good
okay,
answer.
I'm going to leave it there, Minister. I appreciate you making the time for the conversation.
You know what's scary? These pinheads. They run the world.
What's that?